Good afternoon, honorable members, colleagues. Good afternoon.
Greetings, Chairperson.
Oh, Honorable Dalnot, how are you?
Good, Chairperson, and yourself?
I'm good. Are you good?
Good indeed, Chairperson, and yourself?
I'm good.
I'm good. Fine.
Hey, just tired. Hey, we are tired, guys.
Yeah.
We believe that the below 50% are tired, Commissar Notes.
Yes, agree.
Is their new name? Is their new name, Commissar Notes? Below 50%.
Below.
Below 50%. Hello, Chair.
Don't come with your politics here, Mambatu, please.
Below 50%.
Don't. I will take you out. How are you, my dear sister? Are you fine?
I'm okay, Chair. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
Sure.
It seems members are still in the house. Honorable Nana has joined.
No, we have long finished the house sitting.
Oh, no, I left earlier because, we don't have electricity that side. Now I was saving my phone battery. So I don't know where are others. I think they will just join. Aska, can you tell members to join as soon as yesterday, because we need to finish as quick.
How Tenny? We have 7 problems.
Hello, Mama.
Hi, Mama.
How was it? I saw you somewhere.
Nigeria.
I said, hi, Nangu Mama.
No, we are back. Safe.
No.
We are back safe.
Yeah, no, also we are safe and back safe, yeah.
Hey.
After the fight. When I was there, I called them, I call myself the stepchild. People were asking why you are calling yourself your stepchild. Because everywhere I go, I must explain myself, write my name on a piece of paper, because everybody, their name was there, but
yours was not there.
Yeah, no, I was making it joke, say, the stepchild has arrived. They couldn't understand, and I didn't want them to understand. Only a few days, and then the chairperson asked me, he said, hey, you must have share. Welcome, House Chair Nyambi, Jomo, Papa.
How
It's honorable.
are you, Mama? I'm like you. How are you?
We are fine, Baba.
I'm like you have got a problem of electricity.
Hey,
thank you, Mama. Let's start.
All of us, we have a problem of
Honorable
hello?
Your new name is below 50%. You know
Aye. Comrade, Honorable.
Wait, man. How?
Do you want us to take out from this meeting? We will call the security to remove you from this meeting, Honorable Mukause. Colleagues and honorable members, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Chair.
Let me take this opportunity to welcome everybody to this meeting. It has been a long time without a meeting. We are meeting here today after a long week. I mean, long constituency days. We are back, but we are still tired, but we have to work. Whether we are tired or not, we have to work and we have to come back to do what we're supposed to do. Community members are waiting for us there to hear what legislation we are doing, because our responsibility is to make laws. So are those laws affecting the provinces? Are those laws fine with the community that they elected us, irrespective of which political parties? But we have to make sure that our people get satisfied. By so saying, honorable members and colleagues, you are welcome. I know everybody here, we have a challenge of the electricity load shedding. I think we will make sure that we run our meeting quickly, but effectively. Yes, that's all. You are welcome with those words. Aska, can we get the agenda and check whether we are coordinating to start the meeting?
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, the agenda for today is the legal advisors will go through the e-list of amendments for NEMLA that the committee agreed on during the negotiating mandate phase. They have finalized the e-list. They will present it to the committee. The committee can discuss it with the legal advisors. Thereafter, we'll just need a proposer and seconder to accept that list, and then I will do the necessary processes so that we can send to provinces for final mandates. That's part one. Part two is the final mandates on the National Forest Amendment Bill. As of this afternoon, I have now received a mandate from each province, so we have 9 mandates. On that phase, the members from their respective provinces can indicate whether they wish to read the mandate or whether they would want one of the officials just to read all the mandates, because they're pretty short and straightforward. There is no, it's just yes or no. Then the third part of the agenda would be the adoption of the minutes, and that would be the end of the meeting, Chair. The law advisors have been given presentation rights. It would be Mr. Theo Hercules from the State Law Advisor and Ms. Amanda van Rienen. She will run the presentation. So they are just waiting for your instructions, Chair, as to when to start.
Okay. Are we coordinating?
Chair?
Are we coordinating, Aska?
Yes, sorry. So yes, Chairperson, we correct. We have 7 provinces on the platform. We have Free State, Western Cape, Northern Cape, Northwest, Mpumalanga, Gauteng, Eastern Cape.
Thank you. Thanks. We can start our meeting.
Sorry, Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, Chair. The KwaZulu Natal is here. Why not? Not pointing.
Hey, Mama.
Hey.
Aska, how can you
can't
do
leave
that?
me, Aska.
My apologies. Mam Bibi Mam Bibi just joined now. Yes, we have 8 now. Mam Bibi is online.
Okay, thank you very much. The legal advice, then do we have any apology?
Yes, we have one apology from Ms. Lapiskachni. She has been booked off sick.
Yes. And then Limpopo, is it Limpopo in?
I'm not too sure. There is a someone on the platform with just a phone with a number. I've asked them to identify themselves. We might
Okay.
have people from the provincial legislature, so maybe Chair could just also give them an opportunity to introduce themselves.
Yeah, because I've seen Lijaka from Northwest and Matumula from Northwest. Yes, I've seen them. I'm sorry to call them because Jared, I know them. They are from the Northwest. I just want to check any members from the provincial legislature so that we can give them chance to speak in this meeting. They are welcome to speak in this platform. Members from the provincial legislatures?
How do you want us to speak? Just to greet. Yeah, my name is Mpapa Kanyane from Gauteng.
Oh, Honorable Mabakanyani from Gauteng.
Yes.
Yes, thanks.
From Eastern Cape.
Member from Gauteng, thank you.
Fundisile from Eastern Cape.
From Eastern Cape, yes. From Gauteng, yes.
From the Western Cape, Andrikus van der Westhuizen, Chair of the Standing Committee on Environmental Affairs.
So it means we have all provinces. So we are cooperating. Honorable members, like I said, from the province, feel free to participate in the meeting whenever we call the provinces to say if we, the leader of the delegation is in the meeting during the time when we adopt, because it's your mandate. If you want us to read the secretary to read your mandate, you tell him, or if you want to read your mandate, feel free to read your mandate and tell us whether you agree with that mandate or not, but it's yours. Obviously, you will agree with it. So you are welcome to this meeting. The legal advisor, I think this time it's yours. Let us not talk a lot. Let's give you an opportunity to clarify us and explain to us so that when we agree with the C list, we must know what it's all about. Legal advisors.
Greetings, Chairperson, and greetings to everybody on the platform. Chairperson, my name is Phumelele Ngema. I'm from the Legal Services of Parliament. I'm basically coming in at this point, Chairperson, on behalf of Mr. Mjengane, who is the parliamentary legal advisor that's dealing with the first bill. Unfortunately, Chairperson, he asked me to stand in and convey his apology as he is engaged with another meeting elsewhere as we speak. The committee is in capable hands between the State Law Advisor, Mr. Hercules, as well as the departmental advisors that are present on the platform. We will all be trying to assist the committee understand the e-list of the amendments that are before the committee. They've been prepared and discussed extensively with all the team. And so what will be discussed before the committee is generally what has been agreed to. And we will try all our best to make sure that the committee understand and how everything fits in together. Mr. Hercules from the State Law Office, State Advisors Office will take us through the e-list as well as the summary that is necessary to assist the members understand. As I understand, this is a very complicated bill. It is amending about 5 legislation that are already in existence. And therefore, Chairperson, today we are looking at the e-list because there are processes that have already gone before to ensure what is in the final product has been dealt with by both houses, and as well as from both houses of Parliament, as well as from the provincial legislatures. Hence, we are dealing with the e-list today. I will hand over chairperson to Mr. Hercules, who's going to take us through the e-list as well as the executive summary of what exactly the amendments were all about and what they seek to achieve. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ma'am Pumlela. Thank you.
Mr. Hercules, I hand over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson. Good afternoon, and honorable members and colleagues. Chair, may I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Once again, my name is Theo Hercules from the Office of the Chief State Law Advisor, and the team looked at the consequences of and the implications of the amendments flowing from the mandates. And before we speak to the draft ELAs and how the amendments have been captured, I just want to outline just a few points to indicate the main changes and the application, the implications of the amendments that we've captured. Basically, one of the main, the first point that I just want to raise as the major change, giving effect to the draft ELAs, relates to the clarification with regard to financial provisioning, and basically to provide clarity on definitions and provisions in the sections dealing with financial provisions. This also led to a number of consequential amendments that were captured in the draft E-list. The second point, it also expands on the principle to recognize and promote the full participation of previously disadvantaged professionals in the environmental management sector. The amendments also seek to clarify the competency of the minister responsible for mineral resources, for environmental authorizations applications, and the one environmental system by providing clarity in respect of the wording. This also resulted in a number of consequential amendments, which also had to be aligned throughout the text of the bill. It also clarifies the environmental, mineral, and petroleum inspector mandate and its role. And as a result thereof, we also had to introduce a number of consequential amendments. It also addresses matters associated with Section 4024G, which relate to consequences of unlawful commencement of activity. The text now provide better clarity in respect of correcting numbering and other sequence errors which have been addressed now. Chairperson, it also relates to the replacing of the term State Department with the wider term organ of state in relation to the consultation on environmental authorization applications. So organ of state has then a wider application than State Department. It also deals with the definition of well-being in the biodiversity-related clauses, coupled with consequential amendments required as a result of the proposed amendment definition. And it also clarifies consultation requirements by providing clear wording in that regard. It also clarifies the licensing authority's mandate for air quality related matters in respect of where multiple local authorities could be the licensing authority. So it addresses those areas. Then second last, Chairperson, the amendments also seek to amend the definition of waste to allow the necessary clarity and addresses challenges experienced with the current definition, as well as consequential amendments coupled with that, as well as the transitional provision regarding those aspects. Then lastly, Chair, what we've also done, we've corrected grammar and editorial mistakes that were contained in the text of the D version of the bill, NEMLA bill, and that was also identified during the negotiating mandate process. So that's broadly, Chair, the main changes and what the team looked at and the consequences thereof, the legalities thereof, and to ensure that the amendments read well with the Principal Act. And also, as Pumulele, my colleague, mentioned, also the Act also amends various pieces of legislation. So that was also part of the checking process that we've looked at. Chair, I'm going to ask my colleague just to put up the list for us. So I can just speak to the list in summary form. The list was circulated to members and everyone in the committee. So firstly, Chair, I want to start with clause 1 of the draft e-list. Now, clause 1 of the bill amends section 1 of NEMA, and section 1 contains the definitions. Chair, the first definition that I want to speak to is the definition of financial provision. In NEMA, it appears to be limiting financial provision to certain activities. To limit financial provision to certain activities only is not correct, and it requires rewording. So it required rewording in its application. So in that regard, there was also a consequential amendment to section 24P2 contained in clause 8 of the bill. Section 24P deals with a financial provision for remediation of environmental damage. Now, this amendment was supported in the negotiating mandates, and also it's better as far as the department is concerned for practical implementation purposes as well. So therefore, we've amended the definition of financial provision. The wording was then changed. Clause 1 also deals with amendment of various other definitions. Definition of audit, latent environmental impact, mitigate, and rehabilitate. So these definitions were inserted in NEMLA in relation to the financial provisioning requirements contained in NEMA. Section 24P and 24PA of NEMA that's dealt with under clauses 8 and 9. Now, some of these terms are already used in other portions of NEMA, and therefore the definitions must be restricted for purposes of financial provision. This is now the section 24P and PA, which is dealt with in clauses 8 and 9. Chair, in our view as a motivation further, it is best to limit the application and definitions to clauses 8 and 9 only when defined in section 1 of NEMA. If it's not limited, it would result in these meanings to also be assigned to wider than the financial provision context, and which was never the intention, and it will definitely result in contradictory provisions. More than one of the negotiating mandates were concerned with the definitions if defined for the wider context. Thus, it limits the definitions. Thus, limiting the definition will be aligned with addressing these concerns. So the limitation then will ensure alignment with the addressing the concerns raised. In the definition of audit and latent impacts, these definitions were also adjusted slightly, specifically to read better and to align it with the financial provisioning provisions. So there we ensure that there is alignment with the financial provisioning provisions. Then the terms have not been used consistently in clause 8 there as a consequential amendment. And this also required alignment with definitions now to be limited in meaning as it relates only to financial provision. The term mitigation was inserted in clause 8, section 24P, as it was missing. The terms remediation and environmental residual impacts. Chair, it was also to be deleted from the section as it's no longer required in the context of financial provision. This was also pointed out in the mandate. So basically, we've given effect there to the mandates and to ensure that it reads well within the context. The proposed deletions are also aligned with the negotiating mandate inputs given by the department at previous meetings as well. Chair, those are the amendments under clause 1, which deal with definitions. Clause 2 deals with the section 2 of NEMA. There's also a consequential definition change there with regard to the definition of indigenous knowledge practitioner. Now, clause 2 provides for the section 2 of NEMA provides for the insertion of the principle that was supported by the reference to certain terms and professionals had to be added to ensure the provision is complete and well understood. These are based on and on supported negotiating mandates. So that is clause 2 with regard to alignment with the mandates. Clause 3, Chair, deals with section 24.5, which deals with environmental authorizations in NEMA. There was a numbering error which had to be corrected in clause 1 of this definition, as well as an editorial correction that was needed in clause 3C and NEMA section 24.5B capital A, and to delete certain words that should have been deleted. These deleted words are already covered in the definitions that were supported in the negotiating mandates. There is also a consequential amendment with regard to clause 3A. There was a grammar error that was corrected in section 24.2B versus 24.2C if you read those together, which wording was used in 24.2B by mistake. So basically, we just ensure that the intention is corrected there. So that relates to that particular wording there. Then, Chair, further in respect of this particular clause 3, NEMA section 24.2C allows for activities to be excluded from the requirement to obtain environmental authorizations, while section 24.2B requires environmental authorizations for activities specified in geographical areas. So the wording related to exclusions have been copied into section 24.2B by mistake, and this was now accordingly corrected. Chair, just to move on to clause 4, clause 4A, there were also consequential amendments relating to the new definition of mining activity. So basically, the lack of clarity of the minister responsible for mineral resources mandate via unclear wording expressed by some provincial legislators in the negotiating mandates were basically corrected there, Chair. So there was a lack of clarity in that regard. In respect of the Minister of Mineral Resources, this says mandate, the wording should actually clearly articulate the mandate and in respect of the Mineral Resources Minister's competency. So the use of the term mining activity was found to be much clearer than the confusing wording currently used. So consequential amendments to use the new term mining activity were inserted, where the same confusing wording is to be replaced with a concise and clear meaning activity wording in NEMA and the Waste Act. There's also further consequential amendment in respect of section 50 capital A, which was not part of the NEMLA proposed amendments, but it requires clarity in respect of the wording regarding the mandate of the Minister of Mineral Resources, as well. So that was also addressed in respect of the mandate of the Minister of Mineral Resources. So, Chair, there is also as a result of that consequential amendments in clause 4C and 4D, as well as clause 10 and clause 68 in the draft E-list. Chair, clause 5 of the draft E-list deals with the amendment of section 24G of NEMA, which deals with the consequences of unlawful commencement of activity. So basically, when we considered this in response to concerns from negotiating mandates, in respect of clarity, lack of clarity in some parts of clause 5, and there was also wrong numbering, the provisions required redrafting and renumbering. So the wording is also, on this particular clause, the wording is also based on the portfolio committee requirements expressed prior to the select committee process. So we basically took those comments into account as well. The provision now contains responses, for example, public participation and environmental management program related mandate inputs, and these has been adjusted and rearranged and renumbered as a result of the inputs received. So that's under clause 5, Chair. And then Clause 7 deals with the amendment of section 24.0 of NEMA, which provides for criteria to be taken into account by the competent authorities when considering applications. Remember, Chair, I've previously referred to the definition of State Department, which is now replaced with organ of state, which has now wider wider application. So it's basically just then to correct and substitute these two terms as indicated in the negotiating mandate. Basically, the term organ of state is already defined in NEMA as referring to the Constitution definition, and will indeed then have a wider application as intended than a State Department expression. Chair, under clause 9 of the E-list, it deals with the amendment of section 24P capital A, which deals with financial provisions for remediation of environmental damage. There, Chair, numerous mandates indicated that correctly that the timeframes indicated in this clause are not aligned with the practical timeframes and lifespan of some mining decisions, and these must be aligned to be practically implementable. So a consequential amendment is also required in respect of section 24P capital sub 5, which contains a cross-reference to section 24P sub 1, as well as a consequential reference to mining activity from the change in respect of clause 4, section 24C in brackets 2 capital A, that was also addressed accordingly. So those definitions basically, sorry, these amendments under clause 9 basically seeks then to correct the consequential amendments also required under 24P PA5. Chair, the next one is under clause 40. There are consequential amendments with regard to clause 17, 21, 23, and 24 and 25. And then there was also a new clause inserted, 26 for NEMA, section 31N, capital N. The mandates indicate that consistent references are required based on clause 1E of the definition, and consequential amendments to all relevant provisions are required as it relates to environmental, mineral, and petroleum inspector. So when it comes to the enforcement provisions, that's now been corrected there, Chair, and as a result thereof, there are then those consequential amendments which we've also included in the draft E-list. Clause 41C of NEMBA, the Biodiversity Act, refers to the section 1 definition of well-being. Many mandates there received on the definition of well-being, and a number of consequential amendments are linked to this new definition now. Consequential provisions and amendments all refer to the term and requires adjustment accordingly, and this created, and the creation of offense was added as well. So basically that's with regard to the definition of well-being. Consequential amendments was also dealt with under clause 42, 44, and 48 in respect of the new clause for offenses under NEMNA sections 2, 9 capital A and 97 and section 101 of NEMBA. G clause 49 provides for monitoring mechanisms under NEMBA. So there, once again, Chair, practical consultation requirements are now provided for, and this basically it's in line with the mandates that we received during this process. Chair, clause 53 of the equality, clause 53 deals with section 22 capital A of the equality. It deals with consequences of unlawful conduct based on practicalities pointed out in the negotiating mandates. Deletion of the impractical part of the provision containing the requirements to first obtain agreement from all municipalities before there is certainty on who the licensing authority will be is necessary. So there, basically, we ensure that a combination of a metropolitan municipality and a district municipality overlapping has now also been provided for in clause 53 to address the concerns based on practicalities as raised during the negotiating mandates. Then, Chair, under the Waste Act, clause 64 seeks to amend section 36. Chair, there was no consequential amendments there, but there was an editorial error which required correction, basically, namely to delete also the second reference to significant, which was not mentioned initially due to an oversight. So that was just an editorial change. Clause 58, which also deals with a section 1 of the definition of waste. There was a concern and litigation regarding the meaning and unintended consequences of the definition put forward in NEMLA initially for waste. In NEMWA requires the amendment to avoid these challenges that have only come to light after NEMLA was published for comment. So as a result of these concerns, the definition was then amended. This was also supported by the negotiating mandates. Also, Chair, as a result of this amendment, there was also a consequential amendment to clause 58. There, Chair, a new definition of commercial value and a definition of trading are now also captured in the draft list before the committee to deal with consequential issues as a result thereof. Further consequential issue also relate to the transitional provisions contained in clause 85. Clause 85 deals with the transitional provisions, the moving from to provide for arrangements with regard to the new act when the new act comes into operation. So this was also adjusted in view of the definition of waste that's now been amended in the draft e-list. Chair, that's in summary the changes that we've been asked to look at and that we've worked through in basically in summary form. So all these amendments have been captured in the draft e-list. So yeah, Chair, in essence, we've addressed the concerns raised in the mandates that we've been asked to. We've also looked at consequential amendments as a result of these amendments. We've also looked at editorial issues which had to be addressed. And this is across the various pieces of legislation that this bill seeks to amend as well. So, Chair, if there are any questions, this is basically then a summary of the changes that we've been asked to look at as instructed by the committee at our last meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Advocate, for clarifying us. How did you amend and correct everything in that is it E? Yeah, E.
Yes, Chair. E-list, yeah. E-list, Chair.
E-list. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you much. Now I'll give to members to say something, to ask question, or to say something about this amendment. They agree with it, or they want to add, or
Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
It's Honorable Ngwenya.
Hi, Mama.
Thanks, Chairperson. Chairperson, for the sake of time, I've seen always when we do this amendment bill, we take a long time. But I was saying for the sake of time, Chair, there's nothing that I can say I don't agree with in terms of this presentation. Can't we go straight to the mandate of the provinces? And also, in terms of the Gauteng, I'll ask the acting chairperson also to go through to the report of Gauteng, but if he feels that the secretary can do it for us, he's still fine. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Momo. But you need to be seconded on this issue. Honorable members, Gauteng move. Any province that would like to add or to second?
Limpopo seconds, Chairperson.
Limpopo second. Aska, how do you deal with this one? Are we called province by province or what do we do?
No, Chair. You must remember the NEMLA list of amendments is what the committee agreed upon. This is only the law advisors putting it in on paper. And now the negotiating phase on NEMLA is closed. We have a proposer and a seconder, so now the committee has officially accepted and adopted the e-list. I will now do my internal processes and send it to the provinces for final mandate. So as far as the committee is concerned, the negotiating phase on NEMLA is closed.
Thank you very much, Aska.
So now we go into the forest and the provinces will read their mandate, or if they mandate me, I will just read the mandates, put it on the screen and read it. It's entirely up to the provinces.
Yeah, and now we will call the province alphabetically. Before calling the province alphabetically, I nearly made a huge mistake, not recognize my chairperson, Honorable Nkopani. She's in and out in the meeting, but the reason why I didn't recognize her, she used her first name. So, but I saw her, she's in the meeting. Ma'am, you are welcome to the meeting. Don't feel offended when I was calling Advocate Lejaka and your staff members without recognizing you as a chairperson of the committee. Now we are going straight to the forestry, the final mandate. I'll call the first province, which is Eastern Cape, to read their mandate or to give the secretary to read it. And then when in the reading, if it's a secretary, Aska, I know sometimes your voice, I don't want Doctor?
Yes, I'm giving the mandate to the secretary to read the mandate of the Eastern Cape. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doc. Aska,
Chairperson,
you can read, then you all, you and Mr. Joste and Dr. Kalakala, you can help each other so that your voice must not there.
Nope, Chair, I'm fine. The mandates are short and they're straight to the point. The Eastern Cape Final Mandate National Forest Amendment Bill B11D 2016 reads as such. The legislature supports the bill and mandates the Eastern Cape Permanent Delegate to the NCOP to vote in favor of the adoption of the bill. That's it, Chair. That's Eastern Cape.
Thank you very much, Eastern Cape. Vote for the mandate.
Free State, shall I read Free State as well, or?
Let's check from Free State. Do you want to read your mandate or the secretary?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The secretary can read the mandate, please.
Okay.
The Free State Legislature to the chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, National Forests Amendment Bill, B11D 2016. The Free State Legislature votes in favor of the bill.
Thank you.
Gauteng is next.
Secretary.
Okay, the chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, name of the bill, National Forest Amendment Bill B11D 2016. The date of the deliberation was the 5th November 2021. The Gauteng Provincial Legislature supports the principle and detail of the bill and therefore votes in favor of the National Forest Amendment Bill.
Thank you very much.
The next would be KZN.
Okay,
One more.
KZN. Secretary, read it for me, please.
To the chairperson NCOP, National Forest Amendment Bill B11D 2016, deliberated 9 November 2021. The KZN legislature met today, Tuesday, 9th of November, and agreed to mandate the KwaZulu-Natal delegate to the NCOP to support the National Forest Amendment Bill.
KZN agreed.
Limpopo next. Yeah, KZN agreed. Limpopo is the next one.
Limpopo, the Papa.
Can the secretary read my mandate?
Okay. To the National Council of Provinces, the bill, National Forest Amendment Bill, the B11D 2016, 11 November. Vote of the legislature, the province mandates its NCOP permanent delegate to the NCOP to vote in favor of the bill.
Thank you very much. Next
The
province
next would be Mpumalanga.
Papa. Can you read it on behalf of the?
Will
Can
do.
you read on behalf of Papa?
Will do, Chair. The chairperson of the NCOP, name of the bill.
Wait, Honorable Nyambi is still on the platform. Welcome again, Honorable Nkopani. I was apologizing while you were out that I didn't recognize you, but because of you use your first name, but I don't want to make a mistake to not recognize my chairperson.
Thank you, my chair. Thank you. I had a network problem, but I think I'm getting it right now.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. You can read from Mpumalanga. You see, Honorable Nyambi is struggling with the network, Aska.
Okay. Chairperson of the NCOP, Mr. Masondo. Name of the bill, National Forest Amendment Bill. Number of the bill, B11D 2016. Date of deliberation for November. Vote of the legislature. The delegate representing the province of Mpumalanga in the NCOP is hereby conferred with a mandate to vote in favor of the bill.
Thank you, Mpumalanga. Great. Next province.
The next would be the Northern Cape, Chair.
Honorable Mamukausa. Mama, can you read your mandate?
Chairperson, allow the secretary to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To the chairperson of the NCOP, final mandate, name of the bill, National Forest Amendment Bill, B11D 2016, deliberated 10 November 2021. The legislature votes in favor of the bill.
Thank you.
The next one is the Northwest, Chair.
Honorable Nkopani, are you in the position to read, or the secretary can read for you?
I'll read, my chair.
Thank you.
The chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, National Forest Amendment Bill, the number of bill B11D 2016, deliberated on the 4th November 2021. As per the vote of the legislature, the Northwest Provincial Legislature votes in favor of the National Forest B11D 2016. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, my chair. Northwest agreed. Next province.
Would be the Western Cape, would be the final province. Mr. Arnold is from the Western Cape, and Mr.
Oh, there is a person.
Mr. Member
Van der Westhuizen.
Van der Westhuizen is mandated from the Western Cape legislature.
Honorable Van der Westhuizen, are you reading the mandate, or the secretary can read on behalf of you? Honorable Chair of Western Cape, maybe he's having a problem of network. Arnold,
Secretary can read. No, the secretary can read.
Okay.
Okay, the final mandate of the Western Cape to Mr. Masondo, Chairperson of the NCOP, National Forests Amendment Bill B11D 2016, deliberated 4 November 2021. The Western Cape Provincial Parliament confers on the Western Cape's delegation in the National Council of Provinces the authority to support the amended bill.
Thank you very much. All 9 provinces support the bill. It means the bill is now being accepted. It's a bill. Will be sent to the
Chairperson, we first have to read the report of the committee.
Report.
I will
Okay.
read the.
Can you read?
I've
Can
put
you
it on the
read the
screen. I will read it and then propose in a second. The
Did
report
he
of the.
send the report to the members first?
Yes,
Let me.
yes, it was
Okay.
sent to the members. Report
Okay.
of the Select Committee on Land Reform, Environment, Mineral Resources and Energy on the National Forest Amendment Bill B11B 2016, National Assembly, Section 76, dated 16 November. The Department of Environment, Forestry, Fisheries briefed the committee and all 9 provincial legislatures on 2nd of June 2021 on the National Forest Amendment Bill B11B 2016. The bill was initially referred to the committee on the 28th of August 2018 during the 5th Parliament, but revived by the Council on 17 October 2019 in the 6th Parliament. The committee called for written comments on the bill, while public hearings were held by provincial legislature. At the end of this engagement process, negotiating mandate meetings were held by the committee together with the provincial legislatures on the 1st, the 8th, and the 7th, and the 7th, 1st, 8th June and 7th September 2021. The Select Committee on Land Reform, Mineral Resources and Energy, having deliberated on and considered the subject of the National Forest Amendment Bill B11B, Section 76, referred to it and classified by the JTM as a 76 bill, reports that it has agreed to an amended bill, which is now B11D 2016, and at the bottom is the amendments that were affected by the committee. That is the report of the committee. All we need now is for the committee member to propose and second the report.
Can I get any province to propose?
Limpopo moves for the adoption of the committee report, Chair.
Limpopo moved. Any second?
The Eastern Cape seconds, Chair.
Honorable Nana from Eastern Cape second. Now it's come that
the bill is adopted. It is
the bill.
That means the final mandate stage of the committee is now closed. This bill has been finalized by the committee and will be sent back to the National Assembly chairperson.
By so saying, let me thank the provincial legislature to make sure, they did make sure that all the mandate, they give us the mandate, the first mandate, and then the final mandate for this bill. We thank you very much. Without you, the National Council of Provinces can't function. You are very important to us. From time to time, when you give us the mandate, for us to come and deal with it, it shows that you still have trust on us. Thank you very much, the legislatures, honorable members from the legislature, the legal advisors from the legislature to advise our provinces to make sure that the bill is not affecting, is the requirements and issues that were raised by the province. Thank you very much. Now we'll move to the next item.
Chairperson.
Yes, Oscar.
This is the document of the committees, and it's a committee minutes. If it's up to you, you can release the department and all other people on the platform, because this is committee minutes. If we need to discuss it, it is a committee affair.
Okay. Let me take this again once more to take opportunity to thank the legal advisors, the department, and everybody who participated in this bill to make sure that we come on this stage to pass the final mandate. You are really helpful. Without you, legal advisors, we are nothing. Without you, the department, we are nothing. Thank you very much for working with us. Thank you. If you stay,
Thank
you
you,
can
Chair.
stay. If you want to go, you can leave. Thank you very much. It's up to you. Now we are dealing with the internal matters. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, you can continue, Aska.
Thank you, Chair. The last outstanding matter, Chair, would be the minutes of the 7th of September. That was the last meeting where we discussed the negotiating mandates on NEMLA. And we re-voted. So that is the minutes before the committee. Yeah, those are the members that were present, and those are the members that could propose and second the minutes.
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes, sir.
It's Honorable De Bruin. I'm just seeing on the screen now, it says there by name of members, the last row, it says FAB De Bruin. That must be MAP De Bruin.
My apologies, it will be sorted.
Correction.
Thank you.
Honorable members, did you receive this minutes on time and peruse it?
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chairperson.
Okay. Honorable Ngwenya, and then are you agreeing agreeing with the mandate, the report in the minutes?
Thanks very much, Chair. Chair,
Okay.
I would like you to, yes, I would like you to adopt the minutes with the correction. Thank you.
I'm going to move with the amendment. Any seconder?
I second with the amendments of FAB there to be MAB.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Matibe. Seconded, it means now the minutes has been adopted with the amendments. Next item.
Next item is the closure of the meeting.
Okay, honorable members, in the beginning of this meeting, we received an apology from Honorable Labuskaghni. Honorable Labuskaghni and Honorable Bibi, they are hospitalized. Matter is Honorable Bibi is in the meeting, but she's in the ward as we speak. So let's put together our prayers to them to make sure that they get well soon. We don't want to see any one of them become ill because we need them. As a member of the committee, we are one family. So an injury to one is an injury to all of us. So in our prayer time, we will pray for them to get well and come back. We miss them, especially Honorable Lagoskakni. We know because she has been in the in the parliament from time to time. She will correct us when we don't do things correct. So we need them. Honorable members, this is the end of our meeting, and I know you are very tired. We have been working since in the morning. Now this meeting is officially adjourned. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Chair. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Chair.
Papa. Bye-bye,
Mama. Mama. Hayi mani mama usithuselani mani iba right usuke kulo mbhede loyo. Hayi.
Aphume mama, azimfuni lapha.
Uphile mntakwethu.
Hayi, she must phila. Hey, kuyathetha lena, she must phila.